I slept with him just for revenge, a married woman and a rich, handsome guy. But when I tried to leave, he pushed me into a deeper abyss. You can't leave me, or I'll make you wish you were never born. He said his love for me was destined from the moment we met until death. Jason Smith proposed every few days, and each time, Isabel Lopez just smiled and brushed it off. Over time, he started treating it as a daily wish, though he knew deep down she wouldn't say Smith so soon. But that night, as they Smith'd the candlelit dinner he'd lovingly prepared, he was once again holding out the ring, proposing. Isabel, baby, marry me. I'll treat you well for the rest of my life, love you forever. What he didn't expect, Isabel Lopez raised her glass of red wine, sipped with her pink lips, and smiled at him. Sure. In that instant, Jason Smith went completely blank, giddy with joy. It took him a while to come back to his senses. Looking at the beautiful woman smiling at him, he wondered if he'd just hallucinated the whole thing. Isabel, you, what did you just say? Isabel Lopez stood up, leaned in close, and pressed a soft kiss on his lips. Jason Smith, I said Smiths, I do. Jason Smith felt his whole heart light up. That I do kept echoing in his ears like a song stuck on repeat. Isabel. He reached out, caressed her face. Is this real? She smiled and kissed him again this time. She bit him lightly. Ow, that hurts. Jason Smith jolted. He quickly stood up, walked around the table, pulled her into a tight hug. It's real. I know it is. Isabel, I'm so happy. Idiot, she said, laughing. He let go of her, picked up the ring, slipped it onto her ring finger, and kissed her hands several times. You're mine now, all mine. Isabel Lopez had worried she still had unresolved fears about marriage, worried she might regret saying Smiths the next moment. But seeing how thrilled he was, her heart melted too. She knew she wouldn't regret it. Actually, you should be mine. She raised her hand to admire the ring, then kissed him. From now on, people will call you Isabel Lopez's someone special. Jason Smith kissed her lips again, sweetly, and pulled her into his arms. Sounds good. And from now on, you'll be someone special in someone else's life, my Isabel Lopez. She reached out and hugged him back. Under the warm lights, their shadows blended together. After countless proposals, Jason Smith finally got that priceless, I do. He was so excited, he couldn't sleep the entire night. Their close friends and family all found out he had finally succeeded in proposing. The next day, he made a special trip back to the Smith family's old estate to formally inform his parents she was getting married. It felt like they were finally lifting a veil that had never been touched before. I always thought you were just playing around, that you'd come to your senses eventually. You should know there's no way a divorced woman with no real background would ever get through the doors of the Smith family. But I never imagined you'd be this reckless. The first to object was the Smith family's matriarch CEO of the Smith Corporation and Jason Smith's mother. Then all I can say is sorry this didn't go according to your plan, mother dearest. Madam Smith looked at him, haughty and domineering. You're my son, and I will never allow my son to marry a divorced woman. I came to inform you, not to ask for your permission, and I definitely don't need your blessing. With that, he stood up to leave. Stop right there! Madam Smith's face darkened as she shouted. What's so great about that woman that you'd go against me like this? With his back to her, Jason Smith gave a small smile. Honestly, I don't even know what makes her so special. I just know I'd die without her. Madam Smith's face twisted. You ungrateful brat! Get out! Isabel, come to my office for a moment, the boss called out. Isabel Lopez headed into the boss's office only to find there was someone else inside. Isabel, come, let me introduce you. This is the CEO of the Smith Corporation, the boss said, gesturing toward the woman seated on the sofa, dressed in a pale lavender kippah. Isabel Lopez looked at her. The moment she did, she knew this was Jason Smith's mother. He looked about 70% like her. Hello, she gave a slight nod. My name is Isabel Lopez. I know, Madam Smith replied coolly. I came here today specifically to see you. The boss smiled and said, President Smith, I'll let you and Isabel chat. I've got something to take care of. After stepping out, he even thoughtfully closed the office door behind him. Sit, Madam Smith said, glancing at the sofa opposite her. Isabel Lopez walked over, sat down, and star-smithed silent. After a long pause, Madam Smith set down her teacup and looked at her. "Leave, my son. I'll agree to any condition you name." That Tony arrogant and loaded. Isabel Lopez curled her lips into a smile. She couldn't help thinking, compared to other rich in-laws, this one was next-level generous. She wasn't tossing out a few million, she was offering anything. "What are you smiling at?" Madam Smith narrowed her E-Smiths, clearly displeased. "Nothing. Just thought you were surprisingly generous. But I only have one condition." Madam Smith raised an E-Smith brow. "Speak." "My condition is no matter what you offer, I won't leave Jason Smith." "Are you playing games with me?" Isabel Lopez shook her head. "Jason Smith is a person. What we have is love. That's not something you can swap out like an object." "Sk-sk. You've got some nerve. You divorced and you think you deserve my son? But your son doesn't seem to mind. In fact, he loves me very much, I think. You already know that." Madam Smith's E-Smiths went cold. Some people's anger explodes. Hers? It simmered just beneath the surface. After a long breath, she said, "With one word from me, you'll lose your job, and in all of City A, no one will dare hire you." "That's fine. I could be a full-time housewife. Not a bad gig. I'll make your family jobless too. I can make them live worse than dogs." "Then thank you, truly. Maybe you haven't looked into it, Smith, but my last marriage failed because of my half-sister sticking her nose in. I hate that mother-daughter pair. As for my father, he cheated, sheltered the mistress, and pushed my mom to suicide. He's scum." Madam Smith's E-Smiths turned icy as she stared hard at Isabel Lopez. Isabel Lopez just sat there calmly, letting her stare. After a long silence, Madam Smith spoke coldly. "I could make you disappear from this world without a sound." Isabel Lopez paused, then smiled. "To be honest, that line did scare me a bit. I'm still young. I don't want to die. But even if it meant death, I still wouldn't leave the one I love." "Isabel Lopez, you're tougher than I imagined." "Thank you for the compliment. But I forgot to mention I'm the type who'll do anything to get what I want." Madam Smith stood up, and as she passed, she leaned down and lightly patted Isabel Lopez on the shoulder. "I hope you won't regret this someday." Isabel Lopez looked up at her. "It was my choice. I won't regret it." Over the weekend, Isabel Lopez went to visit Anamera and told her what happened with Madam Smith. After hearing it, Anamera frowned and gasped. "Wait, Jason Smith's mom really said that? She literally threatened your life?" Isabel Lopez pouted and continued organizing the guest list for her side of the wedding. "So what? Even if the Smith family is the richest in the city, she wouldn't actually kill me. She's just trying to scare me." "Are you gonna tell Jason Smith about this?" "I did." "And what did he say?" "Of course I didn't tell him his mom threatened my life. Men feel the worst when they're stuck between their mom and their wife. Why should I add to his stress?" The mother-in-law versus daughter-in-law feud had always been a classic, unsolvable problem. But she wasn't planning to live in the Smith family home anyway. She was marrying Jason Smith, not his mother. "It's midday and you're not taking a nap? Still writing invitations?" Anamera spotted Isabel Lopez pulling out a stack of red wedding invites from her bag. Isabel Lopez nodded. "Yup, taking advantage of the weekend. Muchin's handled pretty much everything about the wedding. I've only had to deal with my side, but I've been feeling so lazy lately. We finished our wedding photos a few days ago. I should have had these invites done by now. Tomorrow's Monday, and we're scheduled for our premarital checkup at the hospital. So I've got to finish this today. I'll help you write them." "Nah, I'm still counting on you to make me dinner later. Go take your nap. My Mushin's on a business trip and won't be back in a city till tonight, so I'll be mooching dinner off you." "All right then. I'll go nap with Megan for a bit. Let me go." She struggled, but small and fragile as she was, she couldn't overpower the doctor. 2 medical staff members forced her onto the operating table. "Fighting will only make this more painful. Just cooperate." "Cooperate with what? Let you forcibly take my baby away? Are you insane, or am I? Get away from me. Back off. Who told you to do this?" Mr. Jack gave the order. You should know what he wants done. Always gets done. Anamera's E-Smiths widened instantly, her beautiful gaze filled with shock. pain, and even despair. It was him. It was him. It was actually him. She'd known he was cold and ruthless, but she never imagined he wouldn't even spare his own child. I want to see Jack Shao. I want to speak to him myself. A syringe filled with anesthetic cold steel pierced into her skin. Ah. Anamera jolted awake, soaked in cold sweat. A nightmare. For 4 Smithers, she'd never stopped reliving that horrible day. Her E-Smiths drifted to the side. A pink-cheeked little girl was sleeping soundly. She turned over and pulled her baby girl tightly into her arms. Thank God. Thank God she'd pretended she needed the bathroom, ran to the restroom, opened the window and jumped from the 2nd floor. And thank God her baby had been strong enough to survive too. That cold man had once told her, "Anamera, you're not worthy of bearing my child." So she had run. Fled that terrifying place, that terrifying man, hidden with her baby in a city for 3 whole Smithars. But she didn't know how much longer she could keep hiding.